Welcome to the CWC podcast, Fantasy Football Pre-Draft Special. That's right, Pre-Draft Special. Everybody out there is getting ready for their fantasy football drafts, I am pretty sure. So what better way than to join us here on the show? And we're bringing back Jim Fraser. Jim is with us. Jim, thank you for being here. That's the intro we do for Jim because Jim has won several championships. So, I pay homage to Jim. He's beaten me in a Super Bowl. So, listen, I give the credit where it's due, right? So Jim Fraser is back with us. Jim and I calculated it today, man. We've been friends for 15 years now.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
2008. It's 2023 and we're still going. And you look the same, dude. Like, do you age, my man? Like, you look exactly.
I mean, I definitely put on some LVs, but thank you. I mean,
I know I'm a bit older than you, dude. But dude, you look literally the same as when we started. So that's. I
guess it's just that good genes, I guess.
Yeah, man. So Jim is with us here today. Jim is our kind of like our resident aficionado. I guess you could say. Like, Jim's got a lot of insight. Jim is like a stat head. He's into the meat and the material of football. He loves football. We all love football, but Jim really loves football. Like, Jim is into it, man. Like, he lives and breathes this stuff. So we're going to have some fun today on the show. As you know, this channel is a variety channel. You know, we have, like you said, we do sports, current events, modern dating, interpersonal relationships, movie reviews now. We're doing everything here on the channel. So we appreciate you all being here. Thank you once again. Like and subscribe to the channel, by the way. It helps us out tremendously. Click that button when you get a second, and it really does help us out with the algorithm, especially a small channel like us. Every little bit helps. So appreciate that. With that out of the way, let's get into this. So, Jim, man, give me your excitement level for this season, 1 to 10.
10. Like, sometimes before the season, I'm like, like I would say around like June or so, I'm like, oh, got to start getting into football. And I'm like, this all again. And then once it starts picking up, I totally get into it and it starts picking up. I start reading, getting into the articles, and I listen to a bunch of different podcasts to get like the lay of the land and the strategies for the season. So, I'm super excited and ready for the challenges of the new season.
All right. Well, to show you how ready I am, and because our league is so competitive, guys, that I did something I've never done before. I have one of these. I have never bought one of these in my life, but I'm at the point where these guys are so good that I have to like get into the material. I'm reading about offensive lines, for crying out loud. Like what? Because let me tell you why. And it leads me to the first question I'm going to pose to Jim. Everybody knows the running back situation right now is wild. Like, it's wacky and wild. It's all over the place. There's the money situation. Nobody wants to pay running backs long term, contract extensions off the rookie deal, all those things. There are some guys lately. I think, like you said, Ezekiel Elliott recently signed with the Patriots. I know Pollard signed his franchise tag. Who's not signed right now? Is it just because Dalvin Cook, we know, went to the Jets? Who's not
signed? I don't think it's any major running back that's not signed. I can't think anybody of importance off the top of my head that's not signed.
Okay. So with that being said, has the running back situation changed your draft strategy, or are you going in with kind of the same strategy you've always used?
Just the same strategy. I mean, I have my tiers of running backs. So basically the tier system, you have like certain rounds you're looking for like a certain players. So like tier 1, first, and maybe the end of second or the start of the second round, and so on and so forth. So the different tiers, you got your elites, your excellent, and then maybe tier 8 is just purely backups. So that's usually what I do. And even the backups are ranked. Like, you got Antonio Gibson, that might be like a 1A to 1B to Brian Robinson. If something happens to Brian Robinson, Gibson, his value just goes through the roof. He's the starter. And,
Mhm.
you may Washington, not great offense. Who's the quarterback? Probably many people don't know who it is. Sam Howell, yeah. So, I mean, but still, if they're starting running back, they have some value. So, yeah, I mean, the situation changed. Cook, signing with the Jets, he definitely has some kind of impact on Breece Hall. But they also got Michael Carter. So, like, that situation's a mess. And I'm not going to lie. I'm probably going to stay away with it. The way I play is I just avoid any type of bad situations if I can. You may not be able to. You're not going to be able to later on the draft, but you just want to mitigate that risk as much as possible.
Because it's Breece who's coming off the injury, right?
Yes, but also I don't know if you remember, Dalvin Cook had a shoulder injury. Yeah. But a shoulder injury for a running back is not the same as a knee injury. So there is injury for both of them. Breece Hall just came off the PUP list. So, I mean, he should be good to go. But I had J.K. Dobbins last season, and he was supposed to be healthy, and he just rode the pine the entire season. So, you know what that means. Draft J.K. Dobbins this year. Wink, wink.
So since you're on the Jets, are you high on the Jets in terms of their offense? Do you see them as a high-powered offense? I mean, I love Garrett Wilson. I have him in my other league he was my rookie keeper this will be my second year keeping him. I love him. I don't really love anyone else on the Jets, if I'm being honest. I mean, Aaron is Aaron, but which Aaron at this point, right? So how do you feel about the Jets offense in general?
They're going to be good. I mean, Aaron Rodgers they're going to put up points, and their defense is going to be good. So, they got Marco Hardman. He's their, I don't know if there's their number 2, but they're going to be dynamic. The running backs, maybe they can get Cook and Hall on the field at the same time. I mean, just create chaos for defenses. So, I mean, as long as they can be creative with it, I think the sky's going to be the limit. And yeah, Garrett Wilson, I've seen him go as wide receiver number 3. I mean, his stock has skyrocketed basically. So
the guy was really good last year with that quarterback situation, right?
Exactly. Yes.
So it's kind of scary a little bit with this guy because you're like, I'm very excited about him because, like I said, I have him and I'm excited to see what he does. I know he is going to be productive regardless. I think he's going to do. Is he going to be, like you said, that wide receiver 3 level type guy? Right? That's the question with him. So I think he definitely has the ability and potential to do it. And he's got Aaron, who's way better than any other quarterback that he had last year. So I think they will be dynamic. I think the AFC is going to be really tough. Obviously, it's always tough. Their division is tough, right? The Dolphins to me are a bigger question because honestly, to be honest with you, I don't trust Tua's health, if I'm being honest. I just, do you?
No, unfortunately you can't. They brought in Mike White. I think he was pretty decent. I saw some of the preseason game when they played the Falcons. He led a nice drive, but had an unfortunate pass into the end zone that led to an interception. But I mean, it comes down to Tua being healthy. Keeping him upright. That offensive line needs to keep him from taking those hits, basically, or get the ball out of his hand quick. That's it.
It's going to be very interesting to see. AFC is going to be a minefield, dude. I mean, it's going to be really, really rough. I mean, just within that division, and you got Buffalo. New England, I honestly don't know what to make of New England, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't draft anyone from New England. I just don't. Their offense is their offense doesn't make any sense to me. The way that it operates, I look at their offense, I'm like, I don't get it. I never liked Mac Jones, even in college. So I thought he was overrated in college. I didn't understand when everybody was like, oh, he's going to go number 3 overall. I'm like, why? Like it didn't make any sense to me. But yeah, interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see. The NFC, I think, is more wide open. Just, I don't really see necessarily a dominant team over there, really. I mean, look how the Rams have fallen off. Look at so right now, I mean, I know a lot of people are high on the Lions. Are you high on the Lions?
Yes.
Okay, a lot of people are high on the Lions. Yeah, a lot of people.
They're going to be off. Their offense is going to be off the wall, like with Amon St. Brown. They have a rookie tight end, Laporta. He's going to make some waves. I have my eye on him for late in drafts. Just because of that opportunity. They don't get Jameson back because he's suspended for the first 6 games. So he's going to have a lot of opportunities to get those catches. And, with the rookie and David Montgomery, they're going to be scoring a lot of points.
I like Jared Goff. Like I've kind of always liked Goff a bit. Like I think part of the reason I like Jared Goff is he just goes to work and does his job, man. He's not one of these guys that's complaining in the media and crying about contracts and all these crybaby people like Kyler Murray, people like that just crying and complaining and You never hear nothing from this dude. He just goes out there and plays football. He's not the best quarterback. I have him we have a Madden fantasy league, and I have him as my quarterback in there. And so maybe that's kind of why I like Goff. But I liked him before that, to be honest. I just like Goff the way he goes about his business. I think to me, he's a consummate professional is the way that I see him. And I think he knows what he is and what he isn't. Right. And he's, he can, and if you look at what he did, the guy played very well last year, man. Like he played very, very well. I mean, if their defense is better, they're much better. Right.
Yes. Yeah,
so I like the Lions too. I think they have a lot of potential. What do you feel about San Fran? Okay, quarterback cluster Fs, San Fran. What do you make of that? Is Purdy's coming off the injury? Sam Darnold is there. It sounds like Trey Lance is not. It sounds like he's the third string guy.
Right.
What do you think about that quarterback situation in San Fran?
I think it's Purdy's. He's going to be the starter. I don't see why he wouldn't be. I mean, is he great? Is he as good as an average quarterback? Sure, but I don't think he's going to take them to the next level or anything like that. So, it's who they have. So,
they're Trey Lance. Would you trade him if you were the GM over there and just get something for him? I mean, I know they gave up a lot to get him, but at this point, if you have Sam Darnold and he's from reports he's outperforming this guy in camp,
right?
Lance is just too green, man. They knew that, and they knew that from college, though. That's why I didn't really understand why they gave up all that to get him. Because I'm like, if the guy, remember the whole thing was, there's not a lot of tape on this guy. Okay, so then why are you giving up so many picks to get him? It didn't make sense to me. Like, so, I know we can always sit here and be armchair GMs. But I swear sometimes some of the moves these guys make don't make any sense to me. I'm like, what? Why are you? I don't get it. But I'm sure that there's some dude sitting in an analytics room with a bunch of papers. And I think a lot of times these guys overthink stuff and they actually outsmart themselves. That's what I think. But I mean, they get paid.
Agreed. They just think they're the smartest guy in the room and their decisions don't always pan out. So, I mean, obviously, if there's not enough tape, there's nothing to see. So, how do you make that decision?
If there's not enough tape, I'm not spending a high top 3 pick and trading picks to get the guy. I'm not doing that. And I mean, unless I could see, unless it was a guy that, like, say it was a guy that was coming off of a prior year, like he had a monster year and then he got hurt the next year or something like that. But you know what he can do. This guy, you had no idea what he can do.
No.
And you're giving up all this stuff to get him. It was just weird. I didn't get it. But while we're on the topic of quarterbacks, does Russell Wilson bounce back this year or is he done?
Well, it's a good question because I remember I was on your podcast and I said, let Russell Wilson cook. And they did. And he fell on his face.
Yes, he did.
So I have no idea. I mean, not sure if they shored up that line at all. Hopefully they did, to give him, because he just seemed like uncomfortable the entire season. Javonte Williams is back, so maybe that'll take more pressure on him so they could run the ball more, maybe do more play action, because they would, honor the run instead of just creeping up on the line and just ignoring it. So maybe that's going for him. I mean, it's the same pretty much offense. It's still Cortland Sutton and Judy out there, so that hasn't changed.
And what's the status of KJ Hamler?
He's out.
He's out.
He's out for the season.
Yeah, for the season. Okay, I didn't know if it was the whole season or if it was part of the season, but I heard he got hurt and it wasn't looking good for him.
Yeah, he's out for the season, unfortunately. Yeah. So
interesting. So does Sean Payton make because here's the thing, it sounds like I heard Sean Payton the other day on a show. Sean Payton doesn't sound happy right now. Like Sean Payton sounds like he's frustrated with what the scenario is over there. And dude, come on, look at their division, right? I mean, you got to deal with Mahomes twice a year, right? I mean, it's going to be tough. I was wrong about Russ. I thought Russ was going to come. I thought Russ was like that piece that they needed to propel them into being a really, really, really good team. And it just went completely the other way. So maybe he'll get on the rails this year. We'll have to see. I wouldn't put a lot of stock in them, though. I need to see what they can do first. I don't know much about their defense improvements, so it remains to be seen.
I like Judy, though. I mean, if I'm going like fantasy wise, Judy, and I'm a little gun shy from Williams. I'm not going to get him in any drafts, but Perrine Samaje, he was on the Bengals last season. He was signed, so I like him as a late round pick. So there's still value fantasy wise on the Broncos.
So let me ask you this: we're talking about backfields. Do you think that I hear a lot of people saying that now that dual threat quarterbacks are kind of like that proxy running back that you have. So if you have a Josh Allen, if you have a Lamar Jackson, you don't have to necessarily worry about getting backs like guys who don't have running quarterbacks. Are dual threat guys becoming more and more like a running back 2 replacement in a way, would you say? Or is that too ambitious?
I think that's too ambitious. There's always a danger in having that running quarterback and just having him take that hit. I mean, it's not a very safe game to play. I don't mind it. Like the Jalen Hurts, I mean, he's incredible. He could take a hit, but do you want to keep having him take those hits? I don't think so. Right. You want your running back to be your running back and your quarterback to be your quarterback. Now, I understand like the RPOs and everything. There's value in that. They work. But, look at what happened to poor Trey Lance. I'm sure that's what San Francisco envisioned. And they're in QB, purgatory right now, stuck in their situation. So it does work out in some instances, but I like the Mahomes kind of situation, more of the passing quarterback, but he's elusive. He's not looking to run. He's looking to pass, but he can get away. He can escape if he's pressured. That's what I would look for.
Gotcha. Now, speaking on QBs, my next question was, so there's a lot of new faces on the teams, a lot of quarterback movement, things that happen in the offseason. I'm going to give you some names. Give me the person who you believe is in the best position to succeed this year. Like right now, you can see him coming in, hit the ground running. No, necessarily a rocky start, but a guy who's in a good spot. So I'm going to give you Aaron Rodgers. I'm going to give you Derek Carr over in New Orleans. I'm going to give you Jimmy G, and I'm going to give you Jordan Love. Of those guys, like obviously Aaron is the best player out of there, but what situation do you think is the best of those for those 4 guys?
Okay. It's Derek Carr. Carr in New Orleans. He's going to light that place up. It's going to be Mardi Gras in the Superdome. Olave, Thomas. I mean, Juwan Johnson. There was like a crazy stat for Juwan Johnson. He's their tight end. He had 7 touchdowns in the last, in a 7-game span. So he's out there catching touchdowns. I know that was last season, but he's got skills. Once Kamara gets back and they sign Jamal Williams, so he's got a lot of targets, and I think he's going to be very successful in New Orleans.
Interesting. I like Derek Carr, man. I don't know. He's another guy who I see as a professional quarterback, man. He's just a guy that, he just goes out there. He works. I mean, I think he got a raw deal in Vegas the way that they did him at the end. I thought that was dirty because it wasn't like it was his fault, right? That the team was what they were. Like, I think that I like Derek Carr, man. I think he throws a very nice ball. I think he's a professional. He has a leadership quality that I can kind of see from him. So I think I could see, you mentioned Olave. A lot of people were really high on Olave, especially, they play on that fast track. Like, they're in the dome. Yeah. You got a bunch of games in there every year. I mean, it could be exciting. We could be back to those exciting New Orleans games, man, so yeah, I think so too. Jimmy G, I do not like his situation at all. I don't, the Raiders situation really at all.
No thanks.
It's just bad over there.
Poor Devontae.
Yes, Devontae he's in purgatory now.
Yes.
And to be honest with you, man, Jordan Love has been on that roster for 4 years in Green Bay, I think. And the rumors out of that camp is that the guy is just okay. He's just okay. Like, it's really kind of what it sounds to me like they've tempered expectations way down with this dude. And it's just like, I mean, I think he'll be potentially a serviceable type of quarterback. But if you watch Jordan Love, nothing that he does jumps off the page to me. Like, he just looks like, now maybe he might shock me. He might come out and be that guy that puts up a bunch of numbers. It could happen. I don't think so, though. If I had to bet, I wouldn't bet with the Packers. But all right, that was cool. So I'm gonna throw some names at you. So we always talk about sleepers, or we talk about guys that not necessarily everybody may be targeting, like some names that just some kind of French names. I'm gonna throw a few names at you. Give me a buy or sell rating on these guys.
Oh, okay? No. Okay.
Buy or sell. So Damian Harris.
Sell.
Antonio Gibson.
Oh, buy.
Deontay Foreman.
Mm-hmm. He's in Chicago?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which a run-heavy offense, right?
I'm going to sell that.
I see you like Chicago. Brandon Cooks.
Buy.
Okay.
I think maybe they double CeeDee Lamb and he's just going to be wide open. He's going to have 3 or 4 long touchdowns this year.
No excuses, Dak.
No.
Darnell Mooney.
Bye.
Rashad Bateman.
Bye.
DJ Chark.
Sell.
Juwan Johnson.
Oh, bye.
Irv Smith Jr.
Sell.
And I think I had one more for you here. Zay Flowers.
Zay Flowers.
Or high on him.
He's rookie, right, in Buffalo.
I think Zay is on Ravens.
Oh, the Ravens. That's right. Sell. I like with Lamar. There's like 2 targets on the field. It's Andrews and Bateman. Yeah. I don't see a third. And they got Odell. So
I was about to ask you about Odell because people believe now that the reason Lamar didn't spread the ball around is that he didn't have the targets. Now he has the targets. So, but you're still thinking he's not going to spread it around.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Interesting.
I mean, great if he would, but I don't see that happening.
So what do you think about Anthony Richardson, man? He's going to start. They've named the starter. What do you think about him in Indy? Do you see him as a big upside guy? What do you see from Anthony Richardson?
I think you're looking at 125 yards passing a game.
Okay.
And maybe, I don't know, 50, 60 yards on the ground. I have low expectations.
Especially with the Jonathan Taylor situation. They don't have.
Yes.
Is he going to play? Is he going to hold out?
Oh, that's so obnoxious.
What would you do if you were the GM?
If I was the GM? I really don't know he's supposedly injured or saying he's injured. Like, what do you, he wants to be traded. There's got to be more to this situation that we're not aware of, because none of it makes sense. Just,
it's weird.
If I was a GM, I'd invite him out to dinner, sit him down, and say, "Hey, what can we do to get you?" I think he did report to camp though, but I don't think he's participating.
He reported, but then he said that he had back issues, back stiffness.
So he's just kind of like standing on the sideline situation.
Yes, pretty much. So like you say, the Colts. That Colts situation. I mean, come on, man. Look at the last they've had a starting quarterback. Each of the last 4 or 5 seasons has been a different guy. I mean, they've had, Phillip Rivers, Carson Wentz, Matt Ryan, now Anthony Richardson. I mean, I just don't think. I don't think the Colts. I don't think they know what they're doing. I don't think they know. I think they're kind of just winging it at this point. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be interesting to see, if Richardson. I see people taking. I do see people going to draft him because he's a dual threat guy, right? And
yes,
he's got big upside. So I could see people, somebody like Peak will come in and grab him and stash him on the bench
for sure. So if he pops, he's going to be good. If he pops, he's going to be good.
Absolutely. In your mind, is Justin Jefferson because I hear people talking about Justin Jefferson
right.
number one overall. Is that
in PPR leagues, he's number one.
Okay. Yeah. That's
in my opinion.
Consensus I see with him. Justin's going to go. Is Justin in our league? Who has him? Did someone keep him, or was he drafted later than that or earlier than that? Somebody.
He's not a keeper.
Not a keeper. Okay. So whoever's drafting first. Who's drafting first? I'm drafting
Jose.
Oh yeah. Okay. Hey, maybe I should cut a deal with him. Didn't Jose do some? Didn't he trade his pick last year or something like that?
Yeah.
like that. Maybe I should get on the phone with Jose and see if hey man, what do you need for me to move up to number one?
So it's funny you said that. I actually did our draft, like the first round, like position by the first 10 picks.
Yeah.
Did you want me to run through it real quick?
Yeah.
So, all right. So first, I gave Jose Justin Jefferson, even though I think it'd be hilarious if he picked Christian McCaffrey, since he kept Brock Purdy and Brandon Ayuk.
Right.
But I could see him doing that. I think, he's just like one of those guys that.
Yeah.
So anyway, real quick. So I did Dale. He has the third pick. He's going to take Cooper Kupp. I know he likes Kupp. So, and number 4, Skiba is going to take Eckler.
Okay. Yeah. See that.
Number 5, Eddie is going to take Stephon Diggs.
Okay. I can see that.
Number 6, Bloom's going to take Barkley.
Interesting.
Number 7 is Ron. He's going to take Kelsey.
Okay.
Number 8, Jose. Well, he's keeping Tyreek Hill, so that was easy. I'm going to get that one right. Number 9, Peak is going to take Bijan Robinson.
Yeah.
And me, number 10, I'm going to take CeeDee Lamb. So.
Okay. Who did you give me? McCaffrey?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. That's probably right. And like I said, hey, Jose, if you're watching the show, me and you may have to talk deal. We may have to get on the phone and talk deal because hey, I'm in a really good spot at 2. I mean, there's other things I could do there, but being number 1 would make it a lot easier. Right?
Oh yeah.
So before we wrap up, man, I want to run something by you because we've been doing this league since 2008. We've
Right.
it's been great. I think every year we kind of introduce a few little tweaks and things. I have something special for you guys this year in the pre-draft ceremony. When we do the ring presentation and stuff like that, I have something kind of nice for you guys to make it a little bit more fun. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but that's why I told you to bring $1, bring $1 cash. So you're going to need that to participate. But it's going to be fun. But you follow a lot of leagues, a lot of football, just general fantasy football stuff. Are there any new trends or anything you see coming up that we might be able to implement into our own league? Like I know I mentioned the rookie draft to you guys. I don't think it gained much traction when I gave you guys because me and Peak are in another league that has it, and it's kind of cool. We've kind of grown into it. We kind of like it. But are any other trends or things that you see that we could potentially look to implement in our own league?
Well, funny you say that. In another league I'm in, I'm playing in my first Superflex league. So the Superflex, just in the flex position, quarterbacks are available. So that's an interesting wrinkle to drafting there because quarterback's value just goes to the roof because you're always going to probably want a quarterback in that flex position.
Right.
But, at the same time, it's kind of like easy kind of street. I mean, but you could have like a quarterback that has like a bad game and you could have plugged in somebody else, like a running back goes off on your bench. So again, it is a luck game, but you may draft like, you go Jared Allen, and then on the way back you get Lamar or something like just something crazy like that. But maybe something like that to switch it up a little bit. Another thing is maybe trying like a different website. Like I'm using a new app called Sleeper. So it's actually got built-in daily fantasy stuff too for those who are interested in it. Okay. So I know we've been on ESPN. It's got all history, which is really cool. But there's other stuff out there and might be worth looking into. Also,
that's interesting. I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah, I haven't heard of it either. I just started it in another league I'm in, and one of the other things maybe we could do is like last place, like humiliations or something. Like people have to like do a calendar or something, or
we should make the last place person buy all the food at the next draft.
Yeah, seriously, there should be something for last place. If I'm in last place, then so be it. I'm buying food.
I like that. That's we'll introduce that at the draft. Last place person, you buy the food for the draft party, right? I mean, that's fair. That's a little fun thing to throw in it, and it gives you some consequences for that end of the season. You're going to try to win that last game of the year, right? Like you're not going to be like, I don't care who's in the game. No, you're going to try to win. You don't want to spend $80 on pizza. So
yes. Pizza's expensive, bro.
Indeed. So yeah, man, it's, as you know, man, like we always talk about it, like, the draft is kind of like a class reunion for all of us. I mean, every time we get together, man, it's like we never miss a beat, even though we don't see each other throughout the year. Like we just chat on the group chat, but then when we see each other, it's like we never miss a day. Right. So I think that's the cool part about this and why we've been going so long and it's getting more fun every year. Every year we do it, it gets a little bit more competitive. It gets a little bit more, we're all very competitive. If you're a guy like me who's lost 3 Super Bowls, you're a very bitter player because you're like, I can't get over the hump. Right. But yeah, man, it's I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a blast. Let's see, what's our date again? What's our date for the draft again?
I think it's the 26th.
26. Okay. Yeah, man, it's going to be fun.
So it's like almost a week away.
I have one coming up. I do not like the CBS draft or the CBS Fantasy Football Portal. That's the one that the other one me and Peak are in. I don't really like that interface. I just don't care for it.
I've never seen it. I never had a league on there.
Yes, man, it's wonky. It's really wonky. I don't really care for it. ESPN that CBS league, it was CBS. I only got into that league 2 seasons ago because I took over a team that a guy left and they asked me to be in it, and then another guy left and they asked Peak to be in it. So me and him picked up those spots. They've had that league for like 10, 12 years. So we're the new guys. They've been on CBS the whole time. They just converted to ESPN on that one. Right? So it's like, okay, so now we got 2 ESPNs going. But we'll look at that sleeper one. I do daily fantasy. At least I do daily fantasy for like the first few weeks of the season. Like I do some DraftKings stuff, FanDuel, whatever. Just that you're so excited the first couple Sundays, right? Like you're so excited. You're like on football overload. Like you got Red Zone going. You got your tablet with your scores. You're into it, right?
For sure.
Obviously, man, we all love football. Obviously, man. We start. I mean, I know you watch college football too, or maybe not as much, but just the football season is just. I mean, now it's like you really only have one day of the week where there's no football.
Yes,
because like which is Tuesday, because you have Monday Night Football, Tuesday's the off day, Wednesday there's usually some college, low tier college game, and then you got Thursday Night Football, and then Friday you got college football, and then Saturday you got college football, and then Sunday you got NFL all day, and then you're back to Monday. So it's just like we're in like bliss during football season, man. It's quite crazy. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to seeing all you guys here in less than 10 days, 9 days, I guess. Be seeing you guys over there. We will be doing more shows like this. I told you last year, the last year show we did was kind of like a trial. What I want to do is do these types of shows throughout the season. So like maybe after like 4 weeks, we see what the standings look like. We come back, we do another show, right?
Yeah.
That's my idea. I want to make this a regular series. And then like maybe like the person who's, out in front in the standings, maybe I'll interview that person that week, right? And say, hey, man, like just switch it up and have these types of shows. I think it adds some fun and intrigue to it. And hey, it's going to be up we have a media arm to our league now, man. So I think I think that's pretty cool, man. So Jim, man, I appreciate you being here, man. We went over what I wanted to do, but I knew I was going to do that. I could talk to you for another 2 hours, bro. Like we could sit.
Sure.
I only got to this like 4th page of stuff that's in here that I could still run by you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I've got a lot of stuff, man, because, hey, I told you, hey, I'm reading, coming for you guys, man. I'm reading. I got my books. I'm reading about offensive line rankings. I know about guards, man. Who knows about interior guards? Y'all don't know nothing about interior guards, man. So, yeah, man. So, yeah, Jim, appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
Here, man. It was been fun, and we will. I look forward to having you on probably in a few weeks, man.
All right, cool. All right, take care. See you.
We're out. Thank you.